What's going on, guys? We are going to cover some stocks, okay? I know this channel is mainly revolving around futures, but again, for those of you guys who are new, you guys got to remember, I am a options trader, #1. So for those of you guys who trade stocks and options, this video will be for you. For those of you guys that only trade futures, this video might not be for you, but you can watch because it's going to relate to the NASDAQ. So if you do trade the NQ, it might be beneficial. So we're going to just go over some charts. We're going to look at some charts. We're going to look at some names and see what potentially can be setting up here this week. If there's anything levels of, that interests me to day trade. We're starting off looking at Nvidia. We're going to look at the daily chart. Now, this candle here, a little bit of a pause candle, okay? This pause candle here, this little rest, indecision candle is still hovering over the 5-day moving average, but it's trapped below the 50 and 20-day moving average. I need to see Nvidia close, okay, over 118, 119. Preferably, I'd like to see this get over 120, and then I'm 100% long biased. Then from there, maybe I think over 120, we're going to have a good opportunity to kind of start to stretch out. Look at the open space that we have here, ultimately into 130. So I'd like to see a close over 119. And then if we can start to take out last week's highs, that's really, really good to me. That'd be 121. Anything over 121, I'm going to be long. To the short side, I'm going to hang tight still. I'm not going to be interested into the short side. I'm going to hang tight. We got a little bit of support down here at 112 and 110. So let's kind of see what we do. I'm not anxious to kind of short into that area. Let's look at Tesla. Okay. So let's look at Tesla and see if we see anything. Tesla actually looks really good, still setting up here. So we're still above the 50-day moving average on Tesla and the 20-day moving average. I like that. Yes, today we did close down about 1.5%, but if we can get over last week's highs, over 232.5, this can explode. And I've got a level up there at 245. To the downside, we might have a little bit of room. Okay, we might have a little bit of room that we can play something short below 222. If we get below 222, I've got support sitting at around 218.5. That's going to be a very quick scalp. Very quick scalp into that range. That's going to be our support as well, and then 215 to the downside. So ultimately on Tesla, what am I looking for? I want to see us get over 230 and 232.5. My price target's going to be 240 and 245. And then to the downside, what I'd like to see is anything below 229.96. Let's call it that. 220, 230-ish. If we get below 230, we have a quick trade for cash flow into 218, then cover your position. Ultimately, Tesla would need to lose 215 before it has room down to 209. That would be the next big trade. Let's look at AMD. I have a feeling it's going to look a little bit similar to Nvidia. So if we look at AMD, a little bit of a reversal candlestick, indecision, pause at a level of resistance. For me to want to go long on AMD, I need to get over 154.44. 154.44 has room to 159. Okay, that's going to be my long trade. So I want to confirm 154.5, and then I'll go long. Okay, so if we take out 154.50, and then let's say we close over that in the pre-market, and the market opens and we take that out, I'm going to be long, and I'm going to be taking into 159, 160. To the downside, we do have support at 149.90. And then our last support here is sitting around 147.61. Again, this looks like it can come down if you are aggressive and you want to try to catch a downside move on it. 150.91 has room to 149.83. You got maybe a buck. So is it worth it to chase $1, or should we, try to wait for this to confirm 154.5 and then try to catch like $4 to the top side? Just weigh it. For me, the bigger short trade is 147.70 down into 143. I like this one here. If we close below the 20-day moving average, I like that into the 10-day moving average. Let's quickly take a look at Meta. Meta looks really good to the long side here, guys. If we can confirm today's highs on Meta, actually broke out a little 2-day consolidation that goes all the way back to 827. So even though we broke the 2-day consolidation, it's taking out a range going back to August the 26th, 27th. I like Meta today. over, or tomorrow over today's highs. So we would be looking at 534.10, and then first pit stop is going to be 539 and 544. I really like Meta to the long side. Let's look at Google. Google looks really good as well. We got a little bit of supply here, but again, if we take out this 2-day channel, just think about what Meta did. So if we get over 158.38, I like Google into 159.5, and anything over 159.5, next pit stop would be 162. To the downside, again, I like it better long, but to the downside, 156.60s into 154. Okay, now let's look at the other one. Big Apple, right? Apple, big, big down move today. Big gap down. We're kind of just floating at this support here on a daily time frame. Apple does have a little bit more room down. Anticipation with the new iPhone changing nothing more than maybe a little bit of a camera, right? What's the same? What's the benefit, right? But if we look at it, 213.92 has room down to 210.96. Okay, so from 213.92, if gets confirmed, has room down to 211. Let's call it. So that is your short position. To the long side, if we have a little bit of a dead cat bounce, we could be looking at 217.25. That's your pivot. 217.25, and you're going to play that into 219.35. So we got about $1 and change up, $1 and change down. Whatever you are feeling like, just mark these levels out. Those are the main stocks that I'm going to be watching, guys. Nvidia is probably going to need a few days to set up. The Tesla, the Meta, the Google looks good. AMD is a little bit of a lagger as well. I guess we can look up Netflix before we get off here. So Netflix also looks good to the long side. It's holding all of its short-term moving averages. Meta's holding its short-term moving averages over the 20-day moving average, over its 50. If Netflix can start to punch, right, and it can get over 703, Netflix can really stretch into 720s. That's ultimately what would be the price target. But if we're talking about a day trade, I mean, again, what's the average true range here? It depends on the time frame you're trading, right? So, if you can get $1, right, $1 to $1.50 move on Netflix, that's a good move, right? That's a 5-minute time frame. If you can get something like $1 to $3, which is the hour range, $1 to $3 profit over that level I gave you guys on Netflix, that's a good move. So I'll give you an example. If we get over 703, if we can get anything between $1 and $3 on that push, that's a great move. Take your profits, lock it in. I'll see all of you guys on the trading floor. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want to see more of the stock videos and the levels, because remember, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is my bread and butter. Okay, the futures, it's my side income. It's the part-time job. The options trading is where, it's got my heart. So let me know if you guys like to see this. A lot of you guys are big on prop firms and stuff, but if you guys want to see some stock charts, definitely drop those ticker symbols down below. We can do some analysis on them and see if we've got room for a trade. Catch you guys on the next one.